for a very simple but important occasion. We are here to launch a newborn organization called Kairasu. The name sounds very interesting. When you say Kairasu, what does it mean? You know, we are here, we speak so many languages, and every letter there represents some country somewhere. And that's what Kairasu is about. It's about women coming together with the backup of men. You know, sometimes when we say women, men begin thinking, okay, now it is these gender issues. No, it isn't gender equality. We went past that because we feel we are quite there. But it's just women coming together and doing things which we feel can benefit the society. Before we get really to kick off, you know, in Africa, the beauty of meeting is drum. And when we drum, we feel happy. When we feel happy, we dance a little bit. When we dance a little bit, we get more healthier, isn't it? Who agrees with me? Yeah, you know, Africa without drum and dancing, we are nowhere, you know. Whether we are mourning, we drum. When we are celebrating, we drum. When we are singing, we drum. So I'm just going to request a good brother to come and give us some little sound to quicken us a little bit, and then we shall kick off the program within 1 minute. And for those who can dance, please feel free to dance. Thank you so much. You know, we have the talking drums. And actually, those drums were sending a message. They were saying, welcome. I heard it. I suppose everybody did. On the program, I think everybody, you got a program with you. We are going to open up with having our first speaker on the floor. Not a speaker as such, but Fatu is one of the main founder of Kairasu, who is going to take us through a brief welcome speech. So Fatu Mambre, there's one name missing here. Fatu Mambre Ene, please. The floor is yours. I think that the person who did the typing forgot to do something. Please, Fatu. Fatu Mambre Ene. That lovely lady there loves herself so much. Just like you see. She takes her time, very hardworking, smiling always. I've learned a lot from her. Please give us a little brief history or something about Kairasu.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ambassador Denis Falate, Honorable Ambassador Salele Ramo Cooper, distinguished guests, speakers, friends, families, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to welcome you to the formal launching of Kairasu. I am very honored to see so many friends, family, fellow activists, and dignitaries gathered in this room today. For this very important occasion, I am very excited to have finally achieved an ambition or to one day start a voluntary organization together with some of my very best friends, families, and colleagues. Let me seize this opportunity to acknowledge them. Kaisa, she's not around, she has traveled. Yeah. Rose and Madam Agata. I, together with these friends, have aspire and create a background, an organization that focuses on youths and women, especially those with migrant backgrounds. I do not in any way want to dismiss or undermine the importance of our men and brothers. I salute and acknowledge all of you. Like they say, behind every successful man, there is a woman, just like there is a man behind any successful woman. We hope to draw on our knowledge from our vast, rich, and diverse backgrounds, life experiences, and formal knowledge in our encounter with the people we met. Our objective is to create a better, more conducive and livable environment locally, nationally, and internationally for everyone. I will hereby like to acknowledge our sponsor, Amy, and as we look forward to an enjoyable and fruitful evening. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, normally in society, especially in the diaspora, there's a very big diversity, which can be both challenging, but in that challenge, you find the beauty. You know, when you take it as a problem, I don't like using the word problems, but I feel saying the word or using the word challenge matches better and is more humble enough. When you find a challenge, you quickly get into looking for a solution. So Kairasu sees so many challenges. I don't mean to say that Kairasu tomorrow is going to be a solution to everybody or to every challenge, but we feel together as a group, together as minorities, together as the diaspora women who have extremely enormous resources. We normally don't really think how much resources we have, but we are gifted with so many resources. One could say, well, I'm not well educated. It's not all about education. There's what we call the IQ. My mother went to school, but could be she did not have a master's degree, but I could say that she's the most inspiring lady I have ever met in my life. So together we see that as women of Kairasu of tomorrow, beginning from today, beginning from now, there are so many things we can achieve together. Unity is one of them. How united are we in the diaspora? How supportive are we to each other in the diaspora? How integrated are we in the society we are living in today? These are things we can reflect upon. So we really hope that long time process, everything begins with step one. Today it is step one. It will be two, it will be three. And then we can reach somewhere. But it depends on how far we ourselves want to go. Nobody can give us the yardstick. In the diaspora, there's so much. We have the youths coming up. I'm so happy to see that there's so many youths actually here today. This is wonderful. And I must say, most of them are from Uganda. We acknowledge your presence. And remember, when you are coming, don't leave other youths from somewhere. Because this is going to be a platform for each and everybody. I'm sorry, I'm creeping. There's a boundary here, but I don't always feel like tied up when I'm behind there, but I try to find my way out of it, but still within the range. So that's what I was just thinking, that we have to keep unifying. We have to have our goals. Each and everybody here has a goal. How to achieve that goal? It took some time before Kairasu came up. We had to debate forth and back. Do we really do it? Yes, there's still room to do it. Whom do we need with us? We need each and everybody. We need all our men with us. We need women with us. We need young girls with us. We need all the boys with us. And we need the fathers and the grandfathers, everybody. I have a good friend from Morocco. That's what integration is all about. Ali is here. I've known Ali for so many years. And when I told him, well, we are having Kairasu, he said, I'm coming. What time? 6. I'm coming. Honorable Ambassador, she's not supposed to be here. But she is a woman. The first time I met her, she told me, Agatha, how are the women in the diaspora? What are the women in the diaspora doing? How do we inspire each other in the diaspora? And that's why we have Honorable Jennifer here today. She is really, really a wonderful lady who is, we really honor your presence, who is really burning for how women can get into some next level. We are all somewhere, but still we have somewhere we can reach which can be better than where we are today. So we appreciate people. We have so many people. We have our inspiring auntie there from Nigeria, Auntie Mary. She's always supporting us regardless of what time. You know, she's a lady who's over 60 or about 60 if I'm not wrong, but I've got it wrong. She's only a young girl who's 25. But Auntie Mary will never say, I can't make it. She will always come. Those are the kind of inspirations we have in our society. And those are the resources we have. Because a resource does not mean only you say something in writing, but your presence is already a resource. We see you there, you give me a hug, you give me a smile, and I'm thinking, wow, this is beautiful. All the lovely ladies here are people who really want to know about tomorrow, who want to learn something, and everybody is greatly, greatly appreciated. I cannot mention everybody's name, but Kairasu really, really, really appreciate each and everybody's time here. We are expecting another guest who is a little bit late. You know, there's bad traffic, but she will be on her way. She's actually on her way. The ambassador of South Africa will be joining us anytime from now.
Thank you. I will start by thanking Fatou. She invited me to be here tonight, and I want to congratulate Kairasu on the launching of the organization and the beautiful projects ahead. I was invited to be here today because I work in the arts field, and my focus is on Black women in specifically theater and performance. I have background in theater studies from the University of Oslo, where I had a study about the dances of the Afro-Brazilian tradition candomblé, the orixás, that come from the Yoruba. The Yoruba people who were brought across the Atlantic and enslaved in Brazil, they established a practice that is very much connected to Africa, and that has connected our people in the diaspora to Africa. So I have researched this tradition here in Norway, as in the Department of Theater and Performance Studies. I believe I was the first and only person who took up this subject. Nowadays, I am doing a PhD at the University of Agder in Kristiansand, where I take the colonial perspectives, Black feminism, and theater aesthetics. It's my first year. I just started, and I'm very excited to be bringing this topic into the southern of Norway, that we know it's a very challenged region in terms of racism and white supremacy. Well, I believe that no single person in the world can alone define feminism and which perspectives gender equity should entail. What I have to offer tonight is my particular view from the perspective of the arts and cultural work. Having my performance background from Afro-Brazilian popular culture and as a theater researcher, I see issues of gender and race from the perspective of the female diasporic body-mind. This is how my consciousness rose to these matters, by experiencing interactions through my black indigenous body. I understood that my exposure to oppression and violence is different from the one of a black man or a white woman. It started with a strange feeling of otherhood, and it would take time until it could become words or art. Expressing oneself is a path of unlearning for a black girl. Unlearning to think of herself as a non-being. Unlearning to accommodate symbolic, mental, and physical violence. Unlearning to believe in what is said about her body, her intellect, her hair, her sexuality. Black feminist practices in the diaspora can be traced back to the very existence of women of African descent in the Americas. A clear example is that of the political work made by African religious priestesses, Iadeta, Iakala, and Ianaso, who lived in Brazil during colonial and imperial times in the 18th century. The history of the relative institutionalization of the Afro-Brazilian religions, such as the Candomblé, involves a number of political agreements, both between the Afro-Brazilian community, at the time comprising both enslaved and free people, and the established social and religious white order. The organization of the cult is the result of the minutely detailed political work carried out by these women, who led the first organized black communities. Those women are indeed responsible for our survival in the diaspora, the survival of my ancestors. It was in Brazil that the ritual practices were transformed in order to accommodate all the different African peoples and languages that found themselves forcibly together in captivity. In the US, a number of women were politicized and vocal about their condition long time before the notion of black feminism was coined. Among them was Isabella, born in slavery in 1797. Later, she pursued freedom and changed her name to Sojourner Truth, becoming one of the most important African American women in the 19th century. Truth stated what would become the main socio-political paradigm of black feminism. Among the blacks, there are women. Among the women, there are blacks. For a girl of our postmodern times, upon the revelation of gendered racism, a feeling of sorrow appears. A sorrow connected to the repetitive act of looking for other black female bodies in films, artworks, and social or professional spaces in general. It becomes a type of habit, one that never lets you forget it and relax. But at the same time, it brings about a sort of clarity. You can now look at things, analyze them, try to grasp them. I used to live in a segregated city. My mother's birthplace, Jaguarão, in the south of Brazil, had a few social clubs, spaces for families to gather, enjoy music, dance, food. From the top of my memory, I can recall 6 of those clubs. 4 were white only. 2 were seen and spoken of as black spaces. Segregation contains a paradox. In racially segregated spaces, despite the violence and cruel lack of opportunities, Black communities can create spaces of resistance, develop ideas, and organize themselves. Ultimately, create and practice a special way of seeing, a gaze towards ourselves and the world. Because we are still invisible. Even today, our children lack public role models who can show them that a Black girl can dream as high as she wants. We continue struggling to tell our stories with our own voices, and the few of us Black indigenous women that are making it in the arts field are mostly lone stars. The higher we reach, the lonelier it gets. Meanwhile, the glass ceiling just gets thicker and thicker. I daily see how my sisters disappear. We are a very few on the bus, in the grocery stores, in the streets of the city center. But the Black presence becomes less and less detectable for each step I take in the direction of my office, in the top of a shiny public building. So let me ask, how many Black indigenous women of colors do you know in Western arts, culture, and politics? Are they part of the official canon? Are our buildings, streets, parks, or squares named after them? Are their names mentioned in public speeches and homages? How many are a part of the syllabus in the art history that we study? It has been a paradoxical dilemma. Establish our presence in white spaces or create spaces of our own? Well, I want both. Thank you very much. We need strong and safe places to debate our in-group problems, free from the white gaze. We need places that allow us to try and fail, where we can experiment without the burden of having to succeed to get a second opportunity, similar to the prerequisites as our white colleagues are giving. We need spaces where we can define our practices as art and ourselves as artists without stereotypical prefixes like urban, ethnic, exotic, oriental, or Afro. We must be present in the core of the established institutional spaces as well, because the institutions that have coined the concept of art, its autonomy, and the geniusity of the white male artist was created and built over the enslaved, mistreated, and assassinated bodies of our ancestors. We, Black women, demand to exist on our own terms. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Denise. That was very touching. You know, sometimes we don't know our history. So when you get somebody who takes time to go through and find out our history, I feel very appreciative, because there are so many things there which actually we couldn't have known, probably, some of us, if we hadn't heard from her today. She was very brief, but she was very concrete about the history of a Black woman today. She mentioned things like urban. When we talk about urban, it doesn't mean that we are against it, but we don't need to really forget what our roots are and what it should be and where it should be. So these are the few things which Denise was trying to highlight, not to go against any white supremacy, but how do we merge together and be human beings It's about being a human being. It's about being a black woman in the society with your position as a black woman in the society, and feeling proud of what you are, and feeling happy of what you are, of the creation which God made you in, and the abilities you have on the earth today. So Denise, that was very, 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 very nice. And if you have any questions, Denise is still around. I'm now marathoning. You know, I do sports. I'm getting older, but at least I can do it verbally. You know, I try to run 100 meters. Not every time that I get the 26, I can make it in 30 minutes, but it's 100 meters though. But when it comes to talking, I can peruse very fast. So we are somehow incorporating the program we have, and now we are going to have our beloved Honorable Ambassador. She came from work and it's quite hectic. It is Friday. She has very urgent issues to attend to. You know, we think they have luxurious life, but I don't want to be in their shoes, because they have no night, they have no day, they have no weekends. They are at work and they are serving our governments and they are creating that bridge. So, Honorable Jennifer, please, just come and greet your people.
Good evening. Actually, I wasn't supposed to come and speak out here, but I think that it will be proper that at least you hear my voice before I leave. My colleague will be here soon, the ambassador of South Africa. She is supposed to make a presentation, and I'm sure she'll be here very soon. I'll crave your indulgence. I may have to leave at a point, but I think it's important that I say a thing or two. First of all, I want to commend, let me pronounce it, Kairasu, for this laudable project. I've seen here gender equality based on peaceful coexistence. And I'm delighted, and I've been telling the Ghanaian community that we are the faces of Africa. And back home, we say that women are the unsung heroes, our mothers. I'm here because of my mother. Our mothers were not very educated, but they strived, they worked hard to get us where we are. It means the woman has so much power that we underestimate the power of a woman. I recall when I did my exam to enter the university, my mother wanted me to do law. And she said to me that, you see, I just want to see you in the robe, in the lawyer's attire. And that in itself will give me joy. Whatever I couldn't achieve, I want to achieve through you. And she ensured that I went to the university. And that was not the end of the dream. I recall when I finished my university first degree, she says, you go and do your master's, which I did. And even when I was working, I said to myself that I didn't do the law. This is the time to do the law. And as a working mother with children, I did my law. It wasn't an easy journey. I managed to do the law, and I combined it with diplomacy. And now I can proudly tell my children that if I have achieved this, you can achieve so much. But it's important that African women, we must realize that in the diaspora, we need to make sure that we seep our children in the African culture. Because I can see here that Norwegians have a deep sense of patriotism. And our children who are Norwegian understand the Norwegian culture. But I think we should ensure that we also seep them in our African culture, because it will be a beautiful blend of both cultures. And they will act as a bridge for the Norwegians to understand our culture. And it's only the African woman who can do it. There's a saying in my Ghanaian, I think we all know that saying, that if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And that is very significant. It is very important that we remember that in trying to reach out to our young women here. We are educating nations upon nations and exposing Africa, giving a better light to Africa. On this note, I wasn't supposed to prepare to speak, but I thought I should make a few remarks and say once again that we should remember that we exist as a group, as Africa together. We move together or we sing together. And I would plead with you that this is a fantastic and laudable idea, that we draw in the other African countries and we come together as a group. And I know there's so much we can do together. In a few years back, I'm sure we'll look back proudly and say, wow, we did it. I'm here. I don't know how long I'll be in this country, but I can assure you of my commitment and my support at all times when you call on me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Jennifer. You know, this is the spirit which I really admire in our African ambassadors, whom we have, the ladies especially. Anytime you call on them, they will be there. You know, I just sent Honorable Jennifer a text message and said, please, we are going to do this. Could you be there? And she was like, oh, let me see, let me look here just. And you know what? It was a years ago. He said, so long as it's something concerning women in their diaspora, I will be there. I'm having a very busy schedule, but I'll be there. And we are having her here. It's really amazing. This is the spirit we really need to have. Because some of us, we think that when we go a certain level, then we don't suit into certain levels. You know what I mean? But it's the humbleness which we really need. It's the humbleness which we really, which gives us to pave a way through. It's the what makes us create a network. And it's a very good example. Both you and Ambassador of South Africa, I just want to recognize her arrival. You know, there's just too much traffic and there's just too much to do in office, so she's a bit late, but she has struggled and she has made her way here. Madam, we really appreciate your coming. It's a great honor. It's really a great honor. We feel very blessed with Kairasu to have both of you here, very inspiring, strong ladies with very good messages towards us. We cannot sit. When we see you people working so hard, it inspires us to really work so hard too. Recently, they were like recognizing women in society. And women like you, really, you are the ones who make. Some of us who are being recognized by the community or the Oslo commune to be where we are. Everywhere we need people who have to look upon to. And me, I really look upon you people, I do. I really do. I appreciate your presence. We have something very small, symbolic for you. If you don't mind getting into your feet again. You know, Christmas has come. And during Christmas, I think everywhere in the world, it's a time when we relax, we try, we pretend that we are relaxing. We just have a simple gift acknowledgement for your presence. Maybe you could try to relax with during Christmas. And we assume that you are going to have about 5 days of free time. So I think you don't need to get bored. As you relax, you get more cleverer because you are very clever. And we also assumed, yes, for us we give anytime we can. And we thought that, you know, she has just been here a few months, by the way. She has not been here for a very long time. And you know, when you want to make yourself happy as a woman, the best thing you can make, if a woman is very annoyed, for the men who are here, if the woman is very annoyed, just come with beautiful flowers. She will smile. So we just want you to grace your sitting room with a few.
I must say I wasn't expecting this. I'm overwhelmed. But you see, this is a big bribe you've given me here. I can never say no to you, can I? Whenever you invite me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Exactly. Well, she will be leaving any moment from now. But she says she's waiting for her sister. You know, the two, it's very hard to separate them. And the more you stay here, by the way, Fatu is making the best benechin behind. Have you ever tasted benechin? You do that next time, okay. Yeah, but it's good. For the rest of us who can be here up to midnight, we are going to have a very good dinner. So let's just keep waiting a little. Thanks for coming. Well, without wasting a lot of time, I want to invite a lovely lady. You know, forgive me when I say lovely ladies. You know, we've stepped away from, with all the respect, but we stepped down to being good friends. We stepped down to being good sisters. She was in South Africa when I took my mobile and called her and told her the same thing. You know, where are you? She told me, I'm in South Africa. I said, what are you doing? You left me behind. No, I'm told you I was going for holidays. I said, but now I have something I want to do here, and you need to be there. No, I'm coming. As simple as that. And today she's here. She arrived from South Africa just a few days ago. Somebody would say, you know, jet lag, I'm tired, I'm doing this. But this is all because of the love of the diaspora, the love of the black women around, the love of the society, and they are our symbols, they're the governments we have. So our association with our ambassadors actually is a wonderful bridge between us, the grassroots women, and the hierarchy. So we are really blessed that we can have such wonderful women here to bridge up our problems. So collect the problems, we shall pour the problems to them, and they will help us solve them. Madam South Africa, Honorable Sally, the floor is yours. Yeah. And before forgetting, you know, I'm getting old and getting forgetful. I think I will also have to take this opportunity to thank her as I help her up. That's what we are doing today. Help up, help down. I think we all need to really give South Africa a big hands of applause. Who knows why? Who knows why? Exactly. This year, Miss Universe is from South Africa, and we are honored to have Miss Universe here. And you know what? You know, something very interesting. I felt stuck. You know, I cut off my hair about 4 or 5 years ago, and I have been debating, do I go back to long hair? Do I begin? But you know what? When this girl went down with short hair, mine grew longer. So I was just like, woo, we are in the club. It does not mean that we don't need to put on to have long hair and what, but the message behind it, what will your child, let your child see you and see the beauty in you, with or without the artificial hair or without any other additional thing. That was the message, because in the society today, our youths are dying because of either being whatever way, changing this and that, but still there's beauty inside there. So my short hair, you have to see it quite a while, but I will change that to time on, like a chameleon, long, short, long, short. Let me not take your time.
My dear sister, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. I didn't want to do any impression of African time. It was beyond my control. I really wanted to be here on time. But thank you so much for your patience to wait here. It's indeed a great honor for me to be here to speak to you. I don't have a speech. I'm going to speak to you from my heart. And I told her I'm not preparing any speech. She gave me the topic. The topic I'm very familiar with, and I'll tell you why. I was born in South Africa, in the old South Africa, not the South Africa of today. And we've gone through what we've gone through, and I'm the person I am today, and I think I am strong. And where I am, in the position I am, because the African people made me to be. We left our country with nothing, fighting for the rights of our own people to better that country in the state in which it was, and went to the neighboring countries. And I'm sure most of you will then have to reflect back, just not very long. We had a very You can imagine how I felt when I was sitting here. A very unfortunate situation in South Africa of the clashes between our own people. It didn't sit very well with most of us, especially some of us who have been out there, who lived in African countries where we were treated as human beings for the very first time. We were not human beings in our own country, but we went to these African countries, welcomed us as their own children. We had mothers, fathers, uncles, sisters, brothers, name it. And we were able to focus on the objective why we left the country until we got what we wanted and until we are here today. And I attribute that to you, my dear brothers and sisters. I wouldn't be here had it not been you. You may not have been born by then, maybe, because some of you, I'm sure I'm your senior. But your parents, your great parents, your sisters, somewhere else, played a very major role to make me the person I am today. And I'm grateful. Now, you are here, not in the African continent, but in Norway, far away from your homes, for a particular purpose. Everyone left home for a reason. You just didn't leave home because there was no purpose. You came here with a purpose and focus on that particular purpose. But being here in your individual selves, whether you're from Ghana, or from Malawi, or from Mali, or from anywhere you could DRC, name it, you are from a very rich continent. Continent rich in many ways, culture, name it, minerals, we have it. But it calls on us to be one unit, to be able to explore those resources that we have, explore the knowledge. I mean, we've got such, where's this generation? Yeah, it is here, that generation. We've got two generations, by the way, now. They call us the BBTs, the born before technology, and the dot-coms. You know? You know those, eh? I am one of those BBTs, born before technology, but I try very hard to keep up with it, because if you don't keep up, you'll be left behind. But these young generations, I plead with you, my dear children, because you're not my brothers and sisters, you're my children, and I'm ready to nurture you, if needs be, to focus on why you are here. Focus on why you are at school. Focus on why you are at the particular work you are doing in Norway, if you're working. Focus on that. And think about the next generation. There it is. That generation should be able to look back and say, so and so was here, so and so did this. Just say to yourself, when you look at yourself in the next 5 years, what would I leave behind for people to remember me? We always say at the end of the day, what have I done today to make me feel proud or to make me feel that I've fulfilled something? Every day when you go back home after work, do you ask yourself, what have I done today? Normally we don't. I just wake up, go to work, come back, sleep, wake up, and do it again. But it is important to keep track, because it also motivates you to move on. Now, who we are. I agree with your short hair. You know what I'm wearing. I don't do short hair. I do short hair, I'm telling you. And and I look good in short hair. But but I'll tell you why. There's just a twist of the story I want to tell. I was in the United States at school, and I was walking the campus, and I was confronted by an African-American student. And she says to me, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Africa. And she says, oh, I was wearing my what do you call them? We call them techies at home. What do you call them? Sneakers and jeans and, sweater and rucksack with my school bag. And she says, why are you wearing Western clothes? And I said to her, can I buy a cup of coffee? And she said, yes. We sat down. And I said to her, my dear sister, listen to me well. Right now, if I can take off these clothes and wear a Japanese kimono, or wear a Chinese, whatever you call it, or wear a, name whatever dress you want to say, it doesn't remove a hint of me being an African. I will remain the African I am in whatever costume I want to wear. I'm wearing a Ghanaian dress, by the way, today, with a South African jewelry, but it's African. And I rock all of them. Your traditional dresses, I rock them. She will tell you, normally I wear African dresses. But it's because I'm proud of the heritage that we have. And we've got such a beautiful heritage in the continent. It's actually heartwarming to see the young designers using our, look at these women, look at them. The young designers using our textiles, using the colors, using the natural things to do designs that are authentically African. There's young designers who are also doing the hair products that we do with the natural resources that we have. You don't have to go very far, in your backyard, in the African continent. Now, it's important for us, when we are here as well, to find commonality amongst ourselves. You may be an engineer, you may be a teacher, you may be a psychologist, you may be a lawyer, you may be anything else. But is it possible for us to come together with all those specialities to say, what role, what contribution can we make to our continent? Africa has woken up, If you didn't know, I'm sure you know. Africa has woken up. And if you don't move on with it, you'll be left behind and you'll be saying, we will see you as a foreigner by the time you wake up. Wake up and be with us. There's a development that we want to create, the Africa that has got to develop, create jobs for our people. We must also move freely amongst our countries so that when I go to Ghana, what is visa to go home? Why do I need a visa to go home? So there should be that free movement of people and free movement of goods. Let's trade with one another because South Africa has got things that we need from elsewhere, and if other people have got things that South Africa can provide. We need to create this intellect, this technology. We need to arm ourselves with the necessary knowledge of how to move this forward in terms of our how we build our respective economies. I mean, we could talk forever about who we are. We could talk there's just so much to talk about. Our food. When I am in South Africa, I eat what we call it pap in this thing, but what we're talking about the other day, my sister, what was it? Ugali. But somewhere else they call it something. It's the same thing. Fufu. But it's the same thing. It's just a different of a name. Do you see how common our cultures are? So, when we have a funeral, we sing. When we have a wedding, we sing. In fact, to an extent, we even dance. Whether we are crying or not, we dance. But it's common African culture. When we are happy, we dress look at the colors that are here. In South Africa, we have a saying that we say, we talk about the rainbow nation. We are united within our diversity. We're very diversified, by the way, very different. But we are saying, no matter how different we are in South Africa, we remain united as one country. And I am pleading that here in Norway, can we start that movement of being united as Africa in Norway? Can we start that? I was just talking to my sister earlier on to say, maybe even us as embassies, we need to start creating activities where we can still rally you together. Let's create things, let's talk. We can create lectures, whatever, name it, so that we keep this movement going. And we are available for that. And that's why we are in these countries. to let Africa, keep Africa alive. Let people know about Africa. And when they say Africa, we're not talking about one particular specific country. It's a continent with about over 50 countries. They must know about each and every one of them. And all of them are equally important. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. And you know, it creates, like I've said 100 times, a lot of inspiration when you see people heartedly talking from what they have in their heart. You know, the best way to do it is you bring out what you think, and that's exactly what she has done. Africa is a very rich country, but here we are. We are in a foreign land with so many beauties. How do we merge the beauties together? How do we carry? How do we learn? You know, so we shouldn't just sit here and say, okay, well, we are in Norway, we are making money, there are so many resources we can also still transfer home. Most of us think about remittances. When we talk about remittances, we think about only money. Well, money from the diaspora in so many countries, including my own country where I come from, Uganda, it's one of the most point of running the government from the remittances which we give. The little you are sending, 1,000, 2,000, that is what is running our country, and that's very good. But still, there are so many other remittances we can transfer home. Knowledge, like she has just said, you learn about so many things, transfer those values, and unity, my sisters and brothers, unities. Once we get united, there's nothing which can break us. But once we keep breaking each other down, we are going nowhere. We are strong. We can do a lot. We are good learners. We are good integrators. But let's not leave it there. We have to work together. We are so happy that the embassies are open for us to work with them, together with them, and let's do the needful. Well, we just have a small token for you. You know why? It's good for the world to see the good jobs we are doing. You know, you people give a lot of time. You spend a lot of your time. You would be home somewhere. You'd be resting. You'd be doing your yoga. But here you are. It's on a Friday. It is sacrifice. And that's why we feel it's good for you to come on Spotlight. Because I don't think that maybe your president, I don't think he knows you are here, but you're using your free time of resting to be here. So it's good for them to know that you do beyond where you are supposed to do. And it's really appreciated. So you can relax just a little bit with this. And as you relax, you read a little bit of this. And as you read, women love flowers.
Thank you so much.
Just for your Christmas. Thank you so much. Well, we've actually almost gone through our program because everybody who was supposed to say something has said something. That means we are very good. We've done very well. Clap for us. I appreciate. Thank you so much. That's why I'm consulting. We are communicating, isn't it, Fatu? We are communicating and we are relating with everybody. I hope so. You're welcome, Madam. I recognize your presence. She came all the way from Drammen. Can you imagine? Drammen, Hondefors. Can you imagine? People have come from everywhere. That's very nice. I appreciate your time. And everybody here, I appreciate your time. I want to recognize the presence of a very, she's looking away. She's shying off from me. But I'm looking at you. Auntie Christine, actually, you I'm talking about. You know, Auntie Christina, she's one of the very active ladies. There are many active ladies here, but I just want to recognize her presence. She's the CEO of POWER, Pan-Africa Women Association. So your presence is recognized. you so much, Madam. We wish you a Merry Christmas, and thanks for your time with us. Well, we are just going to, we are going to, we talked about launching, so we will just have the ribbon and we cut the ribbon, then we have the closing remarks by Rose, and then I'm getting hungry just like maybe some of you, then we shall have dinner, and after dinner there will be dance, so there's dinner and dance, and it will be traditional African music accompanied from some is it R&Bs, maybe some Gambian, but if you say Gambian, then you have to dance, and if you don't dance, I've seen you well. Then the music stops. But after that, we should just have entertainment and to get to know each other. I don't know most of you, I think, but I know very many of you. So we get to relate with each other. You know, in such groups, we have to network. It's network which makes us know who is who, and maybe we need them tomorrow. So don't misuse your time here afterward. Just make the great use of knowing whom your neighbor is. Don't shy away. You know, sometimes we don't want to greet, say this side, but talk to each other and feel free with each other. Yeah, we are seeing you. We recognize your presence too. Well, can we have Honorable Ambassador, if you come and you join us in cutting this ribbon, please. So should we count from 1? Should we count from 3? Should we count from 10? Oh, should we count in Roman numbers? Who remembers it? Well, 1, 2, 3. Woo! That's it. So that's Kairasu. Kairasu is officially launched today, and we are happy to do it. And we plead and beg or ask for everybody's support. We will need everybody with us. Thank you. Well, my sister Rose will give us a closing remarks. It does not mean that you go. We just want to finish the official thing, and then we go to the social part of it, whereby we eat, dance, and you go at your own will. But you have to make sure you eat. We don't allow people to go before you have eaten. Ghana has left, but had something before she left, though. So, Rose, please.
Honorable ambassadors, distinguished guests, speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is a privilege for me to stand before you and give a vote of thanks for taking your valued time to share this auspicious occasion with us. We are truly humbled. In particular, I would like to acknowledge our guest of honor, Honorable Ambassador of Ghana to the Nordic countries, Mrs. Jennifer Lati. Our speakers, the South African Ambassador to Norway, Ms. Saleelo Ramokopa. I hope I pronounced it right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your personal experience. We enjoyed that and the encouragement. I'd also like to thank PhD research fellow at the University of Agde, Daisy Faira Nunes. We feel honored by your presence. At least now I have a deeper perception of feminism. Thank you. I also wish to extend my appreciation to our chairperson, Fatu. She has gone out of her way tirelessly to organize, facilitate, coordinate the logistics to this event. Thank you. On that note also, our master of ceremony, Agatha, thank you for shepherding the evening in a very articulated and structured manner, making it flawless. Asante. That's Kiswahili for thank you. Further, on behalf of Kairasu, I wish to extend our gratitude to our sponsors, EMI, for supporting us financially, thus making it possible for us to begin our journey and be here tonight. We are forever indebted. I must also mention our entertainment performance, who will give us a little bit more. Gibbon Gum, the Afro Bala, and the Atlas Band. Indeed, they say that music is the language of the soul, medicine for the mind. So I'm hoping that later on we are going to free our soul and enjoy. I do hope that the session has been informative, interactive, and entertaining as it was for me. It is during these gatherings that we come up with several questions, queries, critiques, or ideas. Please feel free to share with us your thoughts on our email contact or through personal contacts, either one of us. Last but not least, I'd like to take the pleasure of opening the floor, food and dancing later on, for those who want to mingle and shake a leg. They say the night is still young, and thank God it's Friday. So tomorrow, you can enjoy. We are welcome to live at our own leisure and discretion. Thank you, and bless you.
Now we are mingling, so it's not formal like it was. So on mingling basis, Aunt Christina wants to mingle with us. So you mingle with Aunt Christina as I check around. And
ladies and gentlemen, I'm so surprised because I was invited here as a guest, but I can see my whole entire family is here. Wonderful. This is really, really wonderful. I'm so sorry that I came so late because I'm going to work right away from here. And when they talk about dancing, oh, this is really killing me. I'm a good dancer. I'm one of the best dancers you have ever seen. And so I'm so happy to recognize each and every one of you, our ambassador here. I'm speechless when I see you people, beautiful, the way, and I'm going to fight Fatu because she could have given me this attire. I have one of my origin where I come from, but it takes two hours to put it on. And sometimes, I remember once I took it with me to the 17th of May and went towards the palace. But believe me, even they didn't recognize that the king lives there because they took a lot of pictures with me and mostly, and then I was telling them, no, this is a palace. They said, no, we don't want the palace, we just want to take a picture with you. So I could have been maybe the whole of, especially most of them were from Italy. And they were talking to me in Italian and I was trying to answer them, but I was speaking my language and they were speaking Italian. So nobody could recognize that there was something that didn't work well. So that's it. And I'm so happy to see that Africa is represented here. From the south, of which we have our ambassador here, South Africa is the mother of Africa. But I don't want to go into details because Saidu there is looking at me very, very keenly because Gambia is also one of the greatest, but Nigeria. My brother, Mary, can you stand up, please? You know, I was so fond of Chinua Achebe. So Nigeria is taking South Africa. Because of Chinua Achebe, I read his books, and his books, even Mandela said that the books of Chinua Achebe could move a mountain from one place. Maybe it could have moved Kilimanjaro from, it was the one that was used to move Kilimanjaro from Kenya to Tanzania, who knows? Thanks to Chinua Achebe. I wish I could even have his, what do you call it? Souvenir, even a piece of his hair, so that I could honor him for the rest of my life. My life. He was a great man, and all of you are so great to have come to this special occasion here, and I'm so privileged to be here with you. As I said, I had a very short time, but thank God that I came, and found you are beautiful ladies from Africa, but the men are very, very few here. Why? Can anybody tell me? You brought, what happened to you? You know, your mobilization was very poor because we need men here and we need to have, what about what? Because men are the ones who, of course, we respect them a lot and they should support us when we have such an occasion here. I'm so proud to see our African brothers and sisters with beautiful colors, and I'm so thankful that I got an opportunity. Agatha, Fatu, and our brother, where is he? I think he's hidden somewhere here. Or he's helping back there. Thank you so much, and I wish I could get an opportunity because I tried to call my working place to say that, you know, influenza is too much now. Can I get this evening? They said, no, Christina, you are coming to the hospital where the medicine is, so no excuse. But I tried to tell them I'm used to our medicine, you know. My tribe, we use this medicine from the roots, from the stems, from everywhere, but they say, you know what, it doesn't exist here very much, so you have got no excuse. So I wish each and every one of you a wonderful evening, and now we are approaching Christmas and the New Year. Wish you all the best, and hope to see you again on the same venue and other places. Please join with us, and as she has talked about power, we are trying to work together with every African, Pan-Africanism, because we really want to make a difference. And I'm sure if we work together, we can make a big one. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Aunt Christina.